What up, everyone? Welcome back to Blade Bias. I was flipping my green Arctic the other day, which I'm sending out to Ty for him to fix. It has a bit of an issue with binding. You can hear tolerances are really bad. It's got tap. It's got a ton of play. And that's because I can't tighten the safe handle. If I do tighten the safe handle anywhere past the screw getting tight, it just binds up. In fact, that's not even the extent of it. There we go. Completely binds up. So I have to put it in this like weird balance. And I mean, the tolerances are good, but it just loosens up. It'll loosen up as I flip it. And I want to flip the green Arctic more. So I'm going to send it to Ty because Ty absolute beat the living crap out of his Arctic. And he fixed it to get it back to like a nearly factory tune. So I want him to do the same with the safe handle on my Arctic, so that I can continue to flip and enjoy it. But flipping this thing has just kind of reminded me of the good old days. Nostalgia. And when nostalgia is reborn, because even though I've only been in the hobby seriously into ballad songs for almost 2 years now, only been making videos seriously for just over one, it's kind of nostalgic, the old days, looking at my old streams, or especially Will and Brandon's old videos. Will and Brandon's old videos hold up so well. The script, the jokes, the pacing. Like, go back and watch them, because they're amazing. Like, the BRS Alpha Beast, the channel Alpha Beast review, the intro to that, even though that video is like 2.5 years old at this point, the intro to that is still one of my favorites. Also, Finger Screwdriver coming to a store near you. Just like the jokes and the script of those old videos is so good, and I've just been binging their old videos. Their old unboxing videos, the Koenig review, the Marin review. Ugh, I love them. But what got me set out on this nostalgia overload actually started last year, in November, when a little company that you might not have heard of, on a device that you might not have heard of, released this, Pokemon Violet. And it reawakened a childlike enjoyment for Pokemon and video games in me that I have not felt in years. I have not been excited for a mainline Pokemon game since Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon I was actively like really hyped about and really excited for. Bought it, like pre-ordered it, all that. Didn't do any of that for Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Especially didn't do any of that for Sword and Shield, because we all know what Sword and Shield turned out to be. And even Scarlet and Violet, I didn't really care about until a few weeks before it came out, because I was like, I'll try it out. I had $60. I'll try it out for fun. And the first night that I played it reawakened a childlike enjoyment in both video games, Pokemon, and just childlike magic that I haven't felt in years, and that I really needed at the time. Violet kind of marked the beginning of pulling me out of like this weird funk that college and life had put me in. And it was just all due to me rediscovering the enjoyment and love for things that I used to have as a kid. And then Nintendo just kept on coming. Metroid Prime Remastered. Metroid Prime was my first ever first-person shooter that I played. My dad loved the Metroid series when he was younger, so he introduced me to Metroid Prime pretty early. We had a rule in my house not to play first-person shooters because shooting other people is bad, even in video games. But Metroid didn't count because it was aliens, right? So that doesn't count. Which, I mean, the logic is kind of sound there, I guess. If you don't want me developing violent tendencies for other people, why not develop violent tendencies for things that don't exist? I'm kidding. That's not the reason, but it was just kind of the rule, and it was like, okay. And it was fair. I think I was like 8 when I first played Metroid Prime, and I loved those games. I never finished them, but those were back in the days. You know when you were younger, you played games just to play games. I remember playing New Super Mario Bros. On my DS. Finished that game, usually would have put it down. Like if I did it nowadays, would have put it down. In those days, I went back level after level, replayed that game probably hundreds of times. Went back to levels that I really liked and replayed them, tried to get faster times and good scores. You just played it to play it. And that's how Metroid Prime was for me. I never really made progress because my little brain was too undeveloped to understand the exploration and all that. But I just ran around, made progress sometimes, shot things, and it was fun, and I loved it. The second one specifically, because the second one had a local co-op mode, or I guess a local PvP mode where you could like fight against each other. And I used to play that with my dad all the time. So Metroid Prime 2 I actually have like a more solid memory of. Metroid Prime 1 I still remember playing. I still remember loving. And they re-released that shit and it looks beautiful. They redid the graphics from the ground up, it looks like. It's amazing. And once again, just reawakened that kid in me that just loved this kind of stuff. Loved to game. And also Dread. I mean, I haven't played too many Metroid games, like mainline 2D Metroid games. Played the first one. I'm in the middle, actually, of playing Super Metroid. And I played like an hour of Fusion, because my grandma found like a Game Boy Advance in a garage sale, and I think she had Fusion with it. Played that for a little bit, like a very little bit. So Metroid Dread's the first time I actually sat down and like really played a 2D Metroid game. But it's great. It's really, really great. And I love it. And I've been streaming it as well. If you're interested, main channel, link in the description. It's just like bringing back that nostalgia, making it reborn in new forms. Whether you're remastering an old one or completely remaking an old experience and making it magical again. It's been really, really great. And ballad songs are no different because one day this hobby either we'll outgrow it or it will outgrow us. And we will look back on it with fond memories, hopefully. Still owning that first trainer that you ever had, probably picking it up and flipping it will be a reminder of those good old days that you didn't even know were the good old days. So cherish these days. We're all making memories right now that we are going to look back on one day with fond, fond remembrance. And then it will be a whole new wave of nostalgia reborn. Just like it was for me in the past few months. Anyways, thank you for listening to me ramble. I just wanted to talk about this stuff because I genuinely love these 3 games so much. Not because they're perfect games, although Metroid Prime literally is. It's one of the highest rated games of all time. But just because of how much they help me rediscover my inner child and how special that is to me. So thank you for listening to me ramble. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.